Hey there, Laurel back with another video. This time I'm using the negative die cuts as a stencil. This is the card I'm going to be making in the video, and if you'll remember from my last video, I made this card right here and used that heart die, and I had this left over, so I decided to use this to create a card. A very simple card. But nonetheless, I wanted to use this up. I like the hearts. I thought they were cool, and I knew that there was something that could be made, and I'm sure you guys could come up with something way more brilliant than this, but this is what I chose to do. So again, I'm using distress inks. At first, I thought I was going to use them direct to paper because they're the minis, but it was super hard to get in around those edges without overlapping into the other heart, and I was way too lazy to mask off any more of this area. So I'm just going in using a round blending tool here. I'm using Squeezed Lemonade as the yellow, then Abandoned Coral, and then Cracked Pistachio are the three colors that I'm going to be using for these hearts. Unique colors. I wasn't quite sure how they were going to work together. I didn't try this ahead of time, so you're seeing me, use it for the first time and trying out this little color combination. But I like these colors by themselves, and I like distress inks because it seems like almost all the colors just go together in some way. I don't know how he managed to do that because there are so many different colors and totally opposite ends of this color spectrum, but they all just seem to go, you know what I mean? So there it was, me putting on that Abandoned Coral, which is one of the new colors that was released this year. You know how they're releasing one color a month? Well, this was one of them, and this Cracked Pistachio was another one, and I love these colors. That Cracked Pistachio almost ranks up there with that Peacock Feathers color. It's just about there. That's how much I like this color. So again, going in, you can see I'm overlapping some of those hearts, trying to figure out how that will look, really not knowing until I got all three of these hearts down. So I love that you can use your negative spaces when you run your die cut to create your own card. So I decided that the hearts needed a little bit more dimension around the edges, so I'm lining up this stencil, which is basically what it is now, the negative piece, and I'm going to go around all the edges here with the Wild Honey distressing, just to kind of frame them out, give them a little bit more dimension, and let them stand apart from each other so they didn't all just, kind of just fall into each other. I don't know. Anyway, so I thought adding this little bit of Wild Honey around the edges was going to help with that. So I sped this up because I don't want to bore you guys any further watching me do the same thing over and over again. And I'm liking how that looks. The hearts are a little bit more defined. So this is the new distress sprayer thing. So I'm going in and I'm not squeezing it all the way out. You can see my finger moving super fast. First of all, I have it in fast motion. But second of all, I just wanted to create those drips. So to do that, you just kind of pump the, what do you call that? The spritzer thing. Don't push it all the way in for the spray, but if you just pump it a lot, you're going to get those drops, and that's what I wanted. Wanted those water droplets because there's distress inks. They react brilliantly with this water. So I decided to go around the edges with some tumbled glass distress ink here, just to tie in some more color. I love those water splotches on those hearts. Isn't that pretty? I love distress inks. That's why I have them in every single color. It's true. It's true. I really do. I decided to go around the edges with the Peacock Feathers. There's my favorite color, Peacock Feathers, and Cracked Pistachio is right below it. It's just like right there. So I went around the edges with that Peacock Feathers just to deepen up those edges just a little bit more. And I always clean as I go. I don't know if you do, but I find if I don't clean as I go, I don't clean. So now I've got this love die. It happened to be on my desk. I'm pretty sure it's by Lawn Fawn. So I'm going in with, what are these colors? Picked Raspberry and the purple. The purple. It will come to me in a moment, I promise. Purple. Seedless Preserve. See, told you. And I went ahead and put that directly onto the die cut and then sprayed it with some water, and all that water did all the blending for me. Didn't have to worry about any of that. So I'm putting this heart panel down onto a top folding card here. And I wanted that die cut panel to shine. So I'm going to smush down some Versamark all over that die cut. And this is some Judikins Iridescent Sparkle Embossing Powder. And it's just so pretty. So I'm just dumping that into my tub of embossing powder. And then I'm going to go ahead and heat set that. And you'll see as I heat set it, you're going to see it all melt. I think melting embossing powder is so cool. My son thinks it's magic. And then it gives you that nice coating of sparkle. So I took this stitched border die by Lawn Fawn and cut some of the Ellen Hudson 43-pound vellum to create this little hilltop down here at the bottom. And there's a tiny, you're not picking it up on camera, but there's a little tiny stitch line across the top of that hilltop. So now I need to go ahead and adhere this all together. So I'm using some multi-matte medium glue, which I love when adhering die cuts because it dries completely matte. So I can get it all over the place, which I always do, and it can ooze out the side of my dies, which it always does, and it never ever shows because it dries completely, it is invisible. So once I got that down, I'm going in with the precision tip here applicator of the multi-matte medium, and I'm going to go around and adhere the love part down because I need it to stick to my card panel there. Vellum is always tricky to adhere, but with this multi-matte medium, what I'm going to do is kind of squirt a little bit out onto my work surface, and I'm going to pick it up with my finger, and I'm going to put a very thin layer along the bottom of that vellum, along the bottom of the card, and you don't see it. You never see it. Just a super thin layer. This multi-matte medium glue is super duper strong, so a little bit goes a long way. That glue is going to hold all that in place. So to soften up the card a little bit, I'm going to round the top of the card with the We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder. I used the 1/2 inch measurement there. And this is some irresistible textured spray in the color Wedding Dress. And it's like little white water flicks, or paint flicks, excuse me, but they dry with a little bit of texture. It's super neat. So I decided to add just a little touch, not too much, of that textured spray. And then looking with the card, it just still felt a little empty to me. So I'm going to go around the edges with a white gel pen. This is the Signo Uniball gel pen, something or other. I just wanted to give it a little bit of something. It doesn't pop off the page, but it just adds that little bit of something for me around that border to finish off that card. I wanted to keep it simple because we were just using the negative space of those heart dies to create a card, and that's what we did here today. If you're interested in the supplies, they're linked below and over on my blog. Thank you so much for watching. I'll also link to the other video in which I created this negative space with the hearts in case you want to check that out too. Have a great day.